Do you think it's difficult, it's challenging to be in a relationship with me?
Like, I was sure that I liked you, but I wasn't sure if you liked me enough to be in a relationship with me.
Yeah. I don't want to be with someone who can't get along well
Who can't get along with your family?
with my family.
That Filipinas tend to be more emotionally reactive. I've heard and noticed in the Philippines that it's more likely for a guy to really court a woman.
Do I prefer the courtship rather than being straightforward?
Yes.
You are so lucky if that guy is romantic, like giving flowers and other gestures, but you can train them. Hi friends! Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, we are Pinay-Belgian couple from the Philippines
And Belgium.
and for today's video, we are going to do a couple video, obviously. And what is the title of this vlog?
Lifestyle. No, kidding. How we adjust or what we found interesting or unexpected about each other's cultures and each other as well.
Yes. So it's not new for me because I was an au pair in Belgium, but it's new for Mahal because he recently visited the Philippines for a month, and so I will ask him how was the experience when he was in the Philippines and the discovery of each other's culture. Okay, so don't forget to like this video. Do this. And you can leave a comment.
Yeah. And you can subscribe as well, so you know when the new video drops.
Yes, and it is very important to click the notification bell so that you will get the notification when we have a new video. We switch position because this is my angle.
Yeah, her angle is very important.
The first person who will talk is Mahal.
Okay.
Energy,
Do you have any specific questions or do you just want me to talk in general?
Okay. What have you discovered so far when we were still here in Belgium and we haven't visited the Philippines yet? What have you discovered about like Filipino culture through me and through my friends whom you've met?
Okay. So what I've noticed early is that you have a video call with your family almost every day, and that's something I don't do. There's goes sometimes weeks where I don't talk to certain members of my family, but Mahal, she talks really almost basically every day to her family, and that's a really that was a clear indication that family is really important. And also not just family is important, but also community in general, because she has met some Filipino friends where they basically just saw each other on the train station, and then they were like, "Ah, are you Filipino? Ah, yes, me too." And it's really just a very Filipino thing to me, where they meet each other and embrace each other and become like a community, even though they basically know nothing about each other, just that they're both Filipinas abroad. And I think that's impressive.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, that's it.
That's it, yeah.
Okay. What's your question?
My question. Have you felt like trouble connecting to people other than Filipinos while you've been here?
Nice, that's a nice question. I think yes. Most especially to the locals, because I've noticed that they also want to be friends with the people who talk the language,
Nice.
who speak the language. I want to connect, of course, with Belgians, but there's language barrier because I don't speak their language yet. I like the vibe that they are giving me, especially in Brussels. I find the people there warmer than the Flanders.
Yeah.
The Flanders. I am a social butterfly myself. People who are close to me know that. But when you are new to a country, it's difficult. It will take some time before you get to know them, and especially with people here in Flanders, they are reserved. Especially, this is just based in my own experience, but they're reserved. They will just open their life when they get to know you better. And I think that's nice, but it's just different from where I came from.
Yeah.
So, next question is, aside from, forgot to mention that you've discovered that Filipinos eat rice 3 times a day and...
But I noticed that when we went to the Philippines.
Yeah, okay, that's a different...
That was not your question. Your question was before we went to the Philippines.
Okay, before. What about our relationship?
You
What
mean
about when it comes
in terms
to...
of our
When
cultures?
when it comes to relationship, what have you noticed based on the experiences of your friends and the people, your brother, your sister, like that? What's the difference when it comes to like handling the relationship or having the relationship?
Okay. So I can only assume with other people's relationships, because of course when you see someone else in their relationship or two people, it's rarely that you see the full picture. So you only have a partial image.
Correct.
And then if I base my answer on that, it seems that it happens, or as far as I've noticed, that it's more likely that a Filipina, like you, will be more emotionally reactive to things. Which is to say that Filipinos tend to be more emotionally reactive, and if something goes wrong, or if their significant other, so like boyfriend or husband, does something wrong in their eyes, they are more likely to kind of make a big deal out of it. But then that's not in public, that's only in private. I've had like a conversation with one of my house friends where we've shared the same experience, where our girlfriends will be mad at us, but they don't show it yet because we're in public. But then once we're in private, they will let us know that we did something wrong and then be mad at us, even though we didn't notice before. So that's something I've noticed. And for me, of course, it's hard to judge other people's relationships. So it's possible that maybe Belgian people do the same thing, where they keep it to themselves if something goes wrong, and then only
Later
share
they
it
will
in private,
confront, yeah.
which I wouldn't know. So it's a possibility that is the case, but I don't think so. But I don't know. I'm not sure. So
Okay. Based on my own experience, Belgians are less romantic
then Filipinos.
than Filipino
Yeah.
men, of course. Like giving flowers and writing you a letter. It's a high school thingy, like a letter, but it's also nice,
So
right?
Filipinos tend to be more old school romantic.
Not everyone. I think the old generation, not the older generation, but the previous generation. If you are having a relationship with a Belgian guy, you are so lucky if that guy is romantic, but like giving flowers and other gestures, but you can train them.
Train.
Train, is that a dog? I'm kidding. But okay, next question.
Like related to the fact where you say it's more romantic, because I've heard and noticed in the Philippines that it's more likely for a guy to really court a woman. Like they will choose someone that they like, and then they will pursue her, and then the girl will either on purpose or they will not immediately say yes to whatever they're wanting, either because they're not interested or because they want them to try harder. Which I
See the effort.
to see the effort. And
It's
honestly,
different.
yes, it's different. Honestly, I am pretty happy that that's not the case in Belgium, because I would suck at it. But I'm wondering what your opinion is, if you prefer to have someone really chase you and then you're like pushing them away a little bit playfully, or do you prefer it where you say no and then the guy understands and is like, okay, fine, you've told me no, I will respect your decision.
Yeah. First, I think if the girl allows you to court her, there's a chance that you will end up together.
How do you?
There's a big chance
What-
because
what do
if
mean
you
allow, how
if
do
you allow, like for example, allowing that man to meet your family and to
Ah,
court
okay.
you. Of
Yeah.
course, you will not go that far if you are not interested yourself
Okay.
to the other person, right? And for me personally, if I don't like the person, why do I want to see him again and again?
Yeah.
Do I prefer the courtship rather than being straightforward
Yes.
if you want to be in a relationship or not? I want to be straightforward.
Okay.
I want the guy
You still want
the
me to make
situation
efforts,
to make the effort,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
if my family is just in Belgium, for example, of course I want you first to meet my family before saying yes to the relationship, if I want the relationship with you or not.
So, if your family would have been here in Belgium before, like after we went on a few dates, before we would have said, okay, we're in a relationship, you would have wanted me to meet your family
Yes.
and get their approval.
Not get the approval, but I think I want to hear them out. I want to
Okay,
hear them
their
out.
opinion.
Yeah, their opinion. But
Okay.
but I'm the person who decides for myself. But they play a big part of my life, and most
And you value their
importantly,
opinion.
most importantly, my mom. I don't want to be with someone who can't get along well. How do you
Yeah.
say that?
Who can't get along with your family?
With my family, it's so difficult to be happy and then your family is not happy. I don't know, for me personally. But first, we will just share that there's no courtship in our relationship. It was me who asked my boyfriend if he wants me to be his girlfriend, because he was what?
I was shy. I was reluctant to ask her. Because
Or scared of
Yes,
rejection.
Scared of rejection. Yes, that's why I was reluctant, because I was scared of rejection.
Yeah.
I did pursue in terms of the first few dates. Like I was the one who suggested the first date. After our first date, I
Yeah.
asked you when
It's
can I
just
see
the
you
question.
again? It's just the question of actually being in a relationship where I wasn't sure. Like I was sure that I liked you, but I wasn't sure if you liked me enough to be in a relationship with me.
Yeah.
So I was waiting and gathering my courage, but then I'm happy.
Sana all. Sana all.
But
You're
I'm
happy
hap-
that I asked.
Yes.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mahal. Yes.
So, Belgians who are single, get yourself a Filipina if you are torpe, if you're shy. We will talk about our discovery about each other's culture now that I'm living here in Belgium for 2 years, and when Mahal went to the Philippines for a year. What?
For a year?
For a month. First, Mahal will talk about his experiences.
Okay.
You can be straightforward, okay?
Okay. Like what I noticed with her calling her family every day, the fact that family is important for them, it was confirmed when we actually went to the Philippines, because we stayed at her sister's place, and another part of her family lives at her mom's place. So like her mom and her older brother and her younger brother as well. But I saw everyone every day when we were
Every
there.
day.
Yes. There wasn't a day that I didn't see the whole of her family.
Yeah.
And then also one of her uncles, he came all the way from the middle of the province with his son.
No. With nephew.
Albert is not his son?
Nephew.
Ah, okay, with his nephew. Okay, then I was mistaken. But it took them like 6 or 7 hours to drive to Mahal's sister's place
Just to see me.
just to see
Us.
just to see us, which was very
Nice.
touching. Yeah. It was just unfortunate that we couldn't really communicate, because they didn't really speak English, and I don't speak Cebuano well enough to have a conversation. So that was a bit of a bummer. I've also noticed that people do try to make an effort, really like to talk to you, really make you feel included. A funny example of that is that the first time we went to church, we arrived there and someone was giving a lecture or a talk about something, and she was talking in Cebuano. And then at some point she noticed me sitting there, and then she switched to English, because I was like, oh, there's a foreigner here. I'll talk in English. I appreciated the effort. So
You have to share what happened in the kitchen.
in the kitchen, at some point, her mom was busy doing the dishes, and I cleared some plates off the table, and I took them to the kitchen, and then she was like waving to me, like, "Yeah, you can put them down there," and I was like, "I will clean them," and it's like, "No, you just put them there."
Sign language.
Yeah, it's nice. It's good that Mahal was there to translate a lot of the time, but also I was happy that some of her family was able to speak English. So we had some nice talks. And it's just that something I've also noticed is that people either they rarely see foreigners or they just like foreigners, because almost everywhere we went, people were like either smiling at me or wanting to talk to me, which is
You were a celebrity
I was almost a celebrity, yes.
for a month.
And I am not the most social person, so for me that's not always easy to just go talk to random people, and then even if they're interested in me, I find it hard sometimes to start a conversation or keep the conversation going. But I appreciate the effort of them trying to make me feel welcome, which I really did. I really did feel welcome, which is another part of the Filipino culture that I've noticed, is that they really try to make other people feel welcome, even at their own expense. It's like the guest goes first. It's really easy to go visit there when you feel so welcome.
It's the people, no?
Yeah, it's the people. I've noticed that it's the custom in the Philippines to eat rice 3 times a day, which is not the best from a health perspective.
No.
I do like the fact that in your religion, health is an important factor,
Yeah.
but sometimes it's unfortunate that it's not always easy for everyone to follow all of the guidelines, because rice is cheap and meat and vegetables are expensive.
That's a good point.
I sometimes try to introduce more meat and vegetables if I was cooking, but it's not always easy. And
Mahal tried to cook steak,
yes,
but they're not used to it, and they're like, "This is still uncooked."
yes, I cooked the steak like medium rare, I think.
It still has blood.
It still has like, it's not even blood, it's just moisture. But it was like unusual for them, but I think they liked it. Anyways,
they liked
it
especially
anyways.
the chili as well.
The chili as well, even though it was a bit salty with the salty beans.
You have to share you like the Jollibee. So if you are a foreigner and you're watching this,
if you go to the Philippines and you're worried that you won't be able to eat anything, don't worry.
there's Jollibee.
There's Jollibee where you
Spaghetti is Mahal's favorite.
Yeah, it's like sweet spaghetti. It's nice. It's really nice. In terms of weather, it's warm and mostly it's humid. And
Bring sunscreen.
bring sunscreen, yeah. Or
Sunscreen from your roof.
Yes, because I was planning on buying sunscreen there, but sunscreen is expensive in the Philippines.
More expensive than here?
Yes, yeah. It would have been cheap. I assumed it would be cheaper there because the cost of living is lower there, but it's better to buy it here. And driving, partly because it's so densely populated, and driving in the city is very chaotic. There's no real rules. It's just there's a crossroads and everyone just goes and then goes slowly, inches forward bit by bit until you can go until the other person stops, which is
Very different.
very different from Belgium. Like this set rules here, and if you don't follow the rules, you can get fined, or if something happens, then you're at fault, and that's not a good idea. What has been for you the most difficult to adapt to in Belgium in terms of culture?
Difficult to adapt.
Because I assume there are multiple differences, but which one has bothered you the most?
Ala, that's a nice question lagi. Sometimes it makes me wonder, like, why many people don't believe in God.
Okay.
Yeah, that's something, but I respect, of course. There's always respect because I came from a country that's religious like that, but there's respect, guys. And I am bothered by the thought of, like, why can't I work here? Like, why can't I have like a working visa here?
Yeah.
Like, why is it so difficult when in fact there are schools who need teachers? Why? But I do understand that, of course, there are Belgians, locals who deserve it, who
are looking for a job
who
as
are
well.
looking for a job as well. But it's just a bummer. It's just sad to know that if you are from the Philippines, from Asia, like that, it's difficult to get a visa.
Yes.
To work here. Life is tougher here when it comes to have a work, and you need to learn the language first, like that. But when it comes to mingling with people, Belgians are different. People will just pass by and they will not say, or of course you are no celebrity. But it was, first it was strange, and connecting with Belgian people, like you don't know, it's really, it's difficult. But later on you will understand why. Sometimes I think family is not so big compared to the way we take care of families in the Philippines. Like here, if someone grows old, like your parents, you can just put them in, how do you say that, home for the aged.
Yeah.
But in the Philippines, aside from families can't afford that as well, there are many families who can't afford that. But it breaks our heart to do that to our
Yeah.
parents, to our
I just have to
loved
say
ones.
that in recent years, it's become more and more of a thing because homes for the aged become more and more expensive as well. The past decade or so, there's been a trend where something called kangaroo house is a thing, where people who have their house, and it's a relatively big house, and then they will dedicate one part of it, for example, for their parents to live.
Nice.
But they're in the same house, but they have their
Yeah.
own separate parts, so they're always there to help, but each still has their own like their own space, their own privacy, and everything.
Which is nice, right? Which
Yeah.
is nice. I've learned to save because of how you are here, and especially my boyfriend knows how to handle his money, and he's motivating me. He's not forcing me to do it, but he's motivating me, because I used to really buy clothes for this event. Okay, this event I will have new clothes, and for next event I will have new clothes, and so like it's not good for the environment. That's also one thing that that I like about here, living here, because people try their best to really care about the environment. At first, it's like, oh, they are so tight with money, but no, it's like you're working so later you can enjoy. No, not like
Yeah.
working and then spending it, and then later you don't know what will happen. So they also inspire me in some other things, but it's like balance. That's why I can really say that it's working. The relationship that we have it's because I am learning from his culture, and I am hoping that he's also learning from mine. When it comes to family, Mahal is really like, it's okay. But sometimes I always, not sometimes, but most of the time I remind him like, okay, I want to see his family. I want to see your family, because whenever we are meeting his family, it feels like I am meeting as well my family. And independence. In the Philippines, it's a thing like you're already having your own family, but still you're living with your parents. So there are many things that I like about Belgium. There are many things that I sometimes kind of find it strange, but I am here because I am loving Belgium, because I have a Belgian as well.
Yes.
So I think that's it from our vlog for today's video. And so if you have suggestions of our next content, you can leave a comment in the comment section, of course. And if you have questions about having a relationship, leave a comment. We are no experts, but we will just share our experiences and our thoughts. What can you say? I know that some people might think like, no, it doesn't work like that. It's fine. If you disagree, we respect that.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Make sure to like the video, because that really helps, and comment, and then also subscribe and click the notification bell so you can get updated when there's new videos.
Okay. So last question. Do you think it's difficult, it's challenging to be in a relationship with me?
I think it can be challenging to be in a relationship with anyone, but
No, with me.
Mahal, but I really like being in a relationship with you, and even though sometimes it can be challenging, I love you, and that's the most important thing.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.